Welcome to our podcast session, everyone. Let's get into the intriguing dynamics we've seen with Putin, Xi, and Modi converging at the SCO meeting and how it all ties into a broader BRICS United narrative.
I'm all set for this. So we're talking about a summit where these power players gathered, right?
Exactly. It's like these three leaders stepping into a forum that has historically been about regional security, but now it's becoming a stage for global realignment. They're not just talking about defense, it's a statement of unity against established Western dominance.
Right, and that unity is part of the broader BRICS narrative, which seems to be rallying around a new world order.
Absolutely, yeah. It's like, yeah, the event isn't just a diplomatic handshake. It's a signal that these traditional adversaries are reshaping alliances. The SCO, which started out mainly for regional cooperation, now doubles up as a platform for global power play.
So there's this whole rebranding of the SCO happening. And I suppose the inclusion of India with Modi alongside Putin and Xi really ups the stakes, doesn't it?
You got it. And it's interesting because India's role here has always been a bit ambivalent. Now there's this visible shift, almost like India is trying to balance between old alliances
Yep.
and this new united bloc. It adds a whole new layer to the conversation about global economics and security.
So, would you say that this meeting has more symbolic weight, or does it hint at concrete policy shifts among the BRICS and SCO members?
Well, yeah, it's a bit of both. I mean, symbolically, it's a demonstration of unity. But then, when you think about it, these are leaders talking through issues that directly challenge the long-standing geopolitical status quo. It's like they're not just swapping pleasantries. They're plotting strategic moves that might reconfigure economic dependencies and security alliances.
Right, that makes sense. And I noticed in the details that the Durand title emphasizes BRICS United, which hints at more than just a ceremonial affair.
Exactly, yeah. The title itself is a strong statement. It's a suggestion that beneath the usual geopolitical frictions, there's now a concerted effort to advance a shared agenda. This agenda appears to be targeting Western policies like sanctions, economic tariffs, and even ideological influences.
Interesting. So, what about the SCO's role? Historically, it's been less about economic blocks and more about security, right? How does it handle this seismic shift?
That's a good point, because traditionally the SCO was about countering terrorism and maintaining regional stability. But now, with these high profile leaders coming together, it's transforming into a sort of mega forum where economic, political, and even ideological strategies are being hashed out. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like they're gradually turning a regional alliance into a global power tool.
it kind of reminds me of how certain clubs in history started with one purpose and ended up having a much broader agenda, right?
Exactly. It's like the old intellectual salons that began as casual gatherings and ended up defining modern philosophy. In this case, events like these at the SCO could be key pivot points in the shift from a unipolar to a multipolar world.
Really? Now, one thing I wonder is, do we risk overestimating the unity here? I mean, can we really assume that such a diverse group can maintain a consolidated front against long established powers?
That's a fair challenge. I mean, you're right. It's not like every point of view aligns perfectly. For instance, while Putin, Xi, and Modi may agree on opposing certain Western policies, they each have their own regional interests and strategies, which might diverge down the line. There might be
Yep, that's true.
disagreements on economic models, security arrangements, or the management of natural resources.
So, in a sense, while the symbolic unity is potent, the practical aspects might not always be so clear cut.
Precisely. And it's like a house built on differing foundations. On the surface, it stands united, but internally there may be cracks if the pressure mounts. Yet, for now, they're projecting solidarity, and that has significant implications for global diplomacy.
Right, and thinking about the global repercussions, this could lead to a sort of tipping of international negotiations. I mean, if a bloc so prominent starts making coordinated demands, the pricing on everything from trade deals to security reforms could change dramatically.
Definitely. And it's the whole chess game of global power. Each move shifts the dynamics not just in policy but in market sentiments and even political strategies in places like Europe and North America. There's a
Yeah,
lot riding
exactly.
on these signals.
And I noticed the Duran's video doesn't shy away from some of the more critical angles, like how these alignments might be used to, undermine Western alliances.
Right, you are. The narrative there is that this isn't just a passive meeting, it's a deliberate move to restructure global influence. Critics might say it's largely performative, but then again, you can't ignore the potential ripple effects in international policies.
Absolutely. Let's think about the economic implications a bit more. How might this new formation ideally affect the global market?
Well, it's multifaceted. On one hand, a united front could create a counterbalance to the dollar's hegemony. Think of it. With leaders like these, there's always talk of new currencies, new trade agreements, effectively breathing new life into alternative financial architectures. It's kind of like building a parallel economic system.
Yeah, I see what you mean. But I have to ask, aren't there risks in trying to overhaul the system so drastically? I mean, disrupting global markets isn't a walk in the park, is it?
That's a very valid point. The disruption is real. Any attempt to create a parallel system comes with, teething problems. The transition could lead to short-term instability, and there's always the risk that if the reform isn't smooth, it could backfire politically and economically.
Right, yes. And such a risk, if not managed well, might even strengthen the resolve of the established powers to resist or counteract these new alliances.
Exactly. There's a delicate balance here. It's like it's like it's like shifting tectonic plates. You need to be precise, or the fallout can be widespread. So while there's significant talk about unity and creating a formidable alternative bloc, the practical execution is an entirely different ballgame.
Indeed. I'm also intrigued by how media narratives, particularly from channels like the Duran, shape public perception of these events. Do you think they're effective in capturing the multi-layered reality behind these summits? Or might they simplify complex geopolitical maneuvers?
That's an excellent question. In my view, channels like the Duran have a role in framing the debate. They pick out the symbolic gestures, the headlines like BRICS United, and that does help in focusing on the most dramatic elements. But on the flip side, it risks oversimplification.
Yeah, I get that.
It's not a full expose of all the nuances, but it stokes conversations. It drives home the idea that change is afoot, even if every detail isn't laid out transparently.
And sometimes that can be a double-edged sword, right? While it mobilizes interest and discussion, it could also lead to misinterpretations about the solidity of these alliances.
Precisely. It's like if you rely too much on a headline without digging into the details, you might end up assuming an alignment that isn't as bulletproof as it seems.
Absolutely. So then, how should analysts and policymakers approach this reconfiguration of global alliances?
I'd say a healthy dose of skepticism is warranted, analyzing these developments from multiple angles. You look at the symbolic unity, but you also weigh it against historical precedents, regional rivalries, and the ever-present economic challenges. It's like reading between the lines, yeah? Ensuring that we don't fall for a well-packaged narrative without it supporting
Right on.
concrete strategies.
And it seems ultimately that while all these summits and meetings create waves, the true transformation might be slow and uneven across the board.
Exactly. The real test will be over time, whether these shared ideals can translate into policy changes that reshape global power structures, or if they remain mostly symbolic alliances.
Very true. So, as we wrap up, we see that this gathering at the SCO is not just about high-profile meetings. It's a reflection of a shifting global order, full of potential, yet fraught with challenges.
Spot on. It's a compelling moment in global politics, where symbolism meets strategy, and even as we celebrate the unity on stage, we remain cautious about the underlying complexities. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into today's geopolitical dynamics.
Yep, thanks for the great discussion.